Hello, welcome, good evening again, and to Wings of Prey, Birds of Prey?
Wings of
Prey. I think Wings of Prey. But we just have Birds of Prey was the first game they really.
No,
it wasn't.
Birds of Prey is something that flies around sunset levels eating mice
Us
and other small creatures.
Barn owls.
Barn owls. Occasionally, a kite.
Oh, kites. Red kite. Definitely red kites.
Yeah.
Kestrels, did you say?
Kestrel, yeah. Strill, we call them round here.
Strill.
Strill. It's got a strill.
So I think red kite are considered an endangered species.
Surd.
What's surd?
Buzzard.
Hey, surd.
Ah, bugger.
Bastards.
That's what we call them. Anyway,
we're
we're here
talking about
this evening, flying around most of Europe. Only limited small spaces of most of Europe, but we're flying around it nonetheless. And we're going to test the computer to see how well it handles flying at high speeds in the only jet that was actually flying during World War II.
They had a jet flying in World War II?
The Germans had a jet in World War II. It's the ME-262.
That's amazing.
Yeah, well, the Germans obviously had
fair play, man.
way advanced technology on us.
I'm digging that. Cause
they had fucking rockets. They had advanced...
rockets?
Mate,
what?
Have you not ever watched any history programs or listened to your history classes at all?
A few. They had rockets. Why do we have? Why do we have guns not pissing aircraft then? If they had rockets, that's amazing. That's a big tactical advantage.
Let me just do you a little brief rundown of history.
Please do. Fragment this right down to. Yeah.
During World War II,
the
Germans first invented the pulse jet. Okay, Colin Furs. Hashtag Colin Furs.
And I'll post a link on the description on Colin Furs.
He makes pulse jets better than any German.
Man's a legend.
He loves it.
Yeah.
He fired at the French with his pulse jet.
What can we say? Genius. So
anyway, right.
So that's a pulse jet.
Simple jet engine, basically.
They
They created a pulse jet called the Doodlebug that was literally a pilotless bomb.
Okay.
The drone. You know, they were in the Second World War. They created an aeroplane. It was an aeroplane with a pulse jet and a fucking great warhead inside of it.
That's amazing.
And it just basically took off. A
bear
trap, like what we had, the bear trap. You know, a catapult kind of thing. Fired it in the direction of England, roughly towards where it basically had gyros in it that would control its flight as it's flying along. It would stabilise its wings.
I can understand that.
And it flew it all the way to the UK, and it had an engine that was fueled for a certain amount of time. So they figured out the time it would take for this aeroplane to fly to London.
Yeah.
The engine would cut out, and it would go
and glide down,
and it would tumble. And it would fall down, and it would blow the fuck out of wherever it landed.
So did they fly this?
They didn't fly it.
They were
pilotless, but there was
they
hundreds, probably thousands of these things released on the UK. And then after that was called the V1. Okay.
I've heard of the V1.
And then the V2 was a proper rocket. It was the first
definitely heard of a V2
proper rocket, and this was fucking clever.
Okay.
This thing took off. Flew to a very high altitude, like space.
Yeah. Wow.
And shot off his engines.
1940s. That's amazing.
Yeah, and then flew down silently. Nobody knew.
Yeah. No,
and
you never see that coming.
It came down, and nobody knew it was fucking coming down. And it landed on small high streets, like just little fucking suburban areas in London. Flattened the fuck out of. About fucking 10, 15 houses. One bomb. And the trouble was, these fuckers were launching these
amazing
3 or 4 times a day, probably, I don't know how many times a day. They were launching them several times a day.
They were well ahead of us in technology.
What happened is the Americans caught the bastards, and now they work for NASA. That's why America landed on the moon.
I see.
That's how America landed on the moon. It's because the two main rocket scientists that worked for the Nazis ended up working for NASA.
God for that.
And ended up landing America on the moon.
Given their dues, to get something up, I mean, I know nothing about rocket technology or science, but to get something up, to get something up in the air to that sort of height is a lot of fucking effort.
Yeah, and then to have it land accurately on a target.
I'm fucking
very clever.
Impressed. Very
clever. So What the British and that used to do.
So how did they have...
Was to fly alongside the V1s in their P-51 Mustangs and their Mark 9, probably 10 Spitfires by then. Mm-hmm. They used to fly alongside them because they could, the original sort of, primitive jet engine, pulse jet, wasn't very fast. It was basically, it was like... It used to... The pulse jet is designed to suck air in and then compress it in a chamber and pop it out in pulses, pop, 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 like that, basically, and it would, glow, be compressed through a tight chamber.
The small, I love pulse jets. They're wicked.
By the time they got to this stage, this thing was flying. They'd fully mastered the art of jet engines. And
so was this at the end of the Second World War then, or the?
Yeah, it was fairly close to the end. Yeah.
So it's fucking thank God that it ended the way it did, because if they kept on going, the Germans probably would have won.
Yeah, but the only reason why we won World War II is massive.
The Nazis, I should say, not the Germans. Excuse me, the Nazis would have won.
The Nazis, the Germans are very intelligent fucking people.
Germany is the most peaceful country on the planet. Germany, it bloody is. I goes without saying. Anyway, so the Nazis would have won the war, but. I presume at the end of this period, that's when nuclear atomic weaponry was being created as well. So it's quite a good job.
That's one of our main goals during World War II, was to destroy the German heavy water factories up in.
Eindhoven, maybe, I don't know.
No, it wasn't in Germany. It was Austria or something.
Yeah, okay. Reclaimed territory.
Basically, they had heavy water factories, big dams, dams at the top of fjords, basically, and they were creating heavy water, which was the first nuclear.
I can't remember the chemical
fuel.
Yeah, I can't remember the chemical compound. I should know.
That was basically. There's a very clever, a very famous raid that the. British, I believe, or someone.
Yes,
don't quote me on this because I'm a bit drunk and I don't want to fucking.
No, it's interesting. No, it probably is.
I really, don't
probably
actually know right now. But
just look on Wikipedia. Anyone else that will. But anyway, that's it. So the campaign was to take out the possible fuel for these nuclear weaponry, or atomic weaponry,
to destroy, and then there was so much heavy water that was saved. Mm-hmm. And there was a really controversial mission because the heavy water that was saved was smuggled out of this sort of factory, so to speak, in a civilian ferry. And we sunk the ferry with loads of civilians on there, and sort of really, it was a real,
that's dirty.
Large amount of collateral damage. Basically.
Yeah, that's dirty war, man. That's dirty war.
Maybe.
Anyway, Wings of Prey.
We're flying the Semi-262, which is the old German jet.
So this is the
first German jet fighter. The first jet fighter, basically. Next to the British Gloucester Meteor. This was the first. The Gloucester Meteor was slightly afterwards.
So were these things these were in service then?
These were in service. We had conflict. We shot many of these out the sky with Spitfires.
Really? This is a quicker plane. I mean, look how well engineered.
It is a quicker plane, but there is certain ways you can combat that. It's a faster plane, but if it's in a dogfight with you, it has to turn. It has to turn around to face you to fire its guns at you.
Okay.
And if you're in a slower aircraft, you can turn much quicker than a faster aircraft.
Really?
Because you imagine you're travelling at, what are we doing now, look?
You see your
IAS, top left hand corner, second number down,
what's that?
indicated
airspeed. Okay.
So we're now doing 700 and something, so we're doing the speed of sound.
Miles per hour, would you say that?
Yeah, which is way beyond this aircraft.
Yeah, you can't do speed of sound.
So we're going to slow it down a bit before the wings fall off.
I probably would have. So in real life, that probably would have fallen. The wings would have probably fallen off.
Yeah, they probably would have. Yeah.
They can't go past the speed of sound.
Now, I mean, the turning circle on this is probably 10 miles. You know, it's a big fucking turning circle when we're doing sort of 635 miles an hour.
That is.
So, in a slower moving aircraft, you can obviously turn in the tighter circle.
Alright.
And if you can turn in the tighter circle, it means you can travel less air distance.
Ah, okay.
So you can get in front of your enemy a lot easier. If you're in a dogfight, I'll show you in a minute.
We got some queued up dogfights.
Yep.
Ah.
In a minute, I'll show you. If you're in a dogfight and your enemy in front of you is, say, a mile in front of you and you're shooting at him, and he turns to the left, what you do is you turn immediately and you aim your crosshair in front of him.
Ah,
okay,
yeah,
so
okay.
What you're doing is you're turning a tighter circle than he is, so you're travelling less distance. So you're going to catch up with him quicker, so you get closer to him. So what you do is you're trying to get a little bit higher, and you're constantly trying to dive down on your enemy, so that you're travelling faster. You've got the natural inertia behind you, and you've also got the advantage of, you know, you're shooting down from above, so bullets will, you know, travel further.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then when you get into a turn, you aim in front of him. You're turning a tighter circle. You travel less distance. You catch him up. You can get behind him. You can sneak behind him.
And then you possibly win the dogfight.
You pop a few rounds off at him. Yeah, right. We're gonna bring it into land now.
Yeah, it's land it, and we'll take it out for the next video. This is a good time.
I've lost the airfield. We might have to consult the oracle.
Ooh.
There it is.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, right. There we go.
That's a golf course, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, it is now. But it's fucking houses now. Like. I bet Dover stretches right back there now.
Yeah, Ben goes all the way around there.
Ben Dover?
Mm.
He's alright, isn't he? He's pretty lenient.
Gear, I'm guessing G gear for down on this?
G for gear down.
Yeah, I know this shit.
G for gear up. F for flaps.
Flaps.
Whatever situation you are, it kind of predicts what situation you're in. So if you're in combat mode and you need combat flaps, you press F and it sets them to combat.
We all need combat flaps,
mate. That's reminds me of my wife. Stop talking about. She got combat flap. There's the landing strip there, mate.
Yep, there we go. Nicely lined up. Very good.
Okay, so give it a little bit of flaps. Keep a bit of power on. Turning in for final.
On the speed, late. Smooth landing, sir.
A little bit late for turning in there, so turn back a little bit.
Nice heading. So what is this? This is not Canterbury. This is
Canterbury.
Cool.
Yeah. No, it's not Canterbury. It's Canterbury. I don't know, Cambridge or somewhere like that. What's that tower doing at the end of the runway? It's a bit gash, isn't it? It's a bit of a glitch, I reckon.
Nah, probably. Yeah, that's like, you wouldn't have that on a normal airfield. That's stupid. Actually, you possibly will.
No,
you probably wouldn't. No, you'd never have it on an airfield, to be honest.
Whoa, a little bit stally.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, get out the fucking way of the tree. Get out the way of the tree. Thank you.
Oh. Very nicely done, though.
A bit of breakage on those. Skidding.
They have got air brakes, have they? These old aircraft. They've got air brakes and wheel brakes, have they? The old aircraft.
Yeah. Air brakes are just like, you know,
things that stick up and
flaps.
stop.
Stick up.
Very good.
Right, okay.
Very good.
We're down.
Hey, fair play, man. Okay,
right.
Yeah, that mode you just had then. Can we do that in a second for the combat? Because that's a real nice Top Gun view. I think you could goose that right up.
That.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can shoot down the Germans.
That's exactly what.
Because if you're in a real aircraft, you'd be looking like this. You'd have your instruments down here, which would be out of your point of view. I mean, you'd be focusing purely on your view around you. So,
very important.
At the moment, instruments are irrelevant when you're trying to shoot down the Germans.
And which we'll do the next video.
Ah!